sorry, that's for a Democrat show.
No matter what the technical difficulty is, this man is a professional. He goes all the way.
What you represent to them is freedom.
Was an extremely great conservative commentator. We're tearing it up on Wednesday night. This is awesome. This will allow me to report.
Well, this is Jersey Joe for the Reaver of Common Sense show. 8 p.m. on shrmedia.com.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
No matter.
And welcome back, or welcome to the Reaver of Common Sense. I'm your host, Jersey Joe, as some things have changed the way we're doing things, and it's just got me off timing right now. But what is going on now is we will be having at the top of the hour news and station identification. So my show will be starting right about 5 minutes after the hour. There is a little bit of a goof up, so it went a little bit later than that. So my apologies to everybody. But you are listening to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, making sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11:05 to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to join the live chat. Go to shrmedia.com. Just click on the chat room button, join the conversation. If you want to watch the broadcast, go to reaver.one, click on the live stream. And if you like the live stream, don't forget to click subscribe. If you want to support the show and you want to support SHR Media, go to reaver.one and click on the Reaver store. It's a lot of clicking, but it's all well worth it. I still have up the Glenn A. Doherty Memorial Scholarship. You have to look for it a little bit now. I can get it back on top. It is in the name of a great man. He gave his life for this country. He gave his life to save Americans. As at a time when our administration was turning their backs on those people to die, he gave the ultimate sacrifice so others may live. Let's at least try to get that scholarship, make it permanent, and put it right in the face of this administration. Give them the big middle finger and say, we will not forget those who fought in Benghazi. Ugh. And I got Kel. How you doing, Kel? She's in the chat room today. Let me tell you, Friday's show was so much fun. There is a gentleman, Roy Barrington, I believe it is, Barron, and he's running for president. And he lives out of his backpack. It's not that he doesn't have the money. He's just choosing to live life at the bottom rung, not bottom rung, but, you know, he lives it day by day and goes where he needs to go and goes where he wants to go. And he's trying to show and learn about life. And he's getting a whole new aspect and view of the United States. But he's taking that view now, and he's taking a run at president of the United States. And let me tell you, I admire that. He has such a road uphill that he's willing to even try it. It's just unbelievable. I applaud him. And it was, I think, a great interview. I had fun with him on, and I know a couple other people have gotten a hold of me and said it was an excellent interview. And it's set up that anytime he wants to come on, he knows the number he can call in. All right, so it was the weekend. Again, my weekend was set up of, let's see, I think it was Friday night. I taught my daughter how to play Star Wars, The Old Republic, which then led to teaching her how to play EverQuest. So now she is all ecstatic because she's been wanting to play for a while. And I've kept her not because of the game, but because of some of the immature idiots that get on the game and how they act and talk. So I didn't want her around that. But she's getting old enough. I finally gave in. We finally gave in. I don't want to say gave in, but we got her a phone. She's 12 years old, But the main thing is next year she's going on to 6th grade. In 6th grade, when we went to the open house, some of the things they do in class, they said they will need a smartphone or a tablet, because they'll have to go to certain websites, put in a password to do certain assignments. Now the school does have the ability to they have that type of stuff there, but it makes it easier if the kids have it. It's not a mandate, but so we went out and we broke down and got her. I mean, we got her a cheap. It's a $30 smartphone because I know she's going to lose it, and I am not getting her a goddamn $400 and some iPhone, and she goes and loses it. So it's her first phone. It's going to teach her some responsibility. She's going to learn about conserving, and she's pretty good. She's better with money than I am. She will hoard that money, and I mean, she will hoard it. She will hide it in her room. Not that anybody's trying to steal, but she just, nope, I'm not spending it. And she'll wait till something that she really, really, really wants, and then she might spend the money. Otherwise, no, she ain't touching it. And that's a good thing to have, I think. I think that's a good outlook at life so early. Hang on. Sometimes, for some reason, the headsets that I have, I like the older, I guess you can call them the 70s types. They're those big ones. And those that are watching the live stream know what I'm talking about. It's not the ear, just put in the ears, but it's those big ones, the DJ types. Well, every now and then, it seems like it gets a positive pressure air or something, and it pushes on my eardrums. Feels like I'm in an airplane. I got to pop my ears real quick. So now that I totally babbled, we're running a little, I don't want to say late, but we only got about 3 minutes till the first break. I got to restructure things and get used to it. And I'm not complaining about what's going on. It's just some changes going on, and it was brought to me 9:30 this morning, which, hey, no big deal. I'm not complaining about that. I just got to figure out how to go about a couple things and just make it a little bit easier on the show. Next week, we will have, I know it's Dan the Man Butcher. We're going to have Sackett Sean. They're going to the Texas convention, and one other person. And Ken the Conservative will be at the Texas GOP convention. Well, of course, in Texas. And we'll probably have some live call-ins, some sound clips to play. We're working on everything right now, and whatever they need, I want to get that information that's going on out there to everybody as soon as possible. So we'll have some live call-ins and all that. How was everybody's weekend? Because other than that, I was doing good, except for the weather here in Florida. And the weather I was having or the problem I was having with the weather is when there's storms around, and not so much in Florida, the storms that were hitting north of us, it changes the barometric pressure. When it changes the pressures with the injuries I have, holy shnikes, does it hurt. Oh my God, it just. So, well, today's going to be interesting. So I got a lot of information to cover. There's going to be information that some people are not going to like, and I'm getting tired of sugarcoating it because the majority of the people, and yes, the majority of the people have conceded that Trump's going to be the nominee. But you still have that minority that are just running around causing trouble. And I'm not trying to be negative on this, but I think I put my finger on it, and I talked about it before. But I actually think that these malcontents that are causing the trouble right now, they're the same ones that were Ron Paul malcontents. And it wasn't all the Ron Paul candidates, but there's a certain group that is just a major malcontent. And that there's a certain part of the libertarian movement that has this my way or the highway. My way, it's the Constitution, and then if you disagree, you're against us type attitude. And they're the ones that are still causing issues. Everybody else is, we need to unite the party. And this group has caused problems for 2 presidential elections now. and it's hurting the party. Now, if Ted Cruz would have won this outright by the book, getting the votes, I'd be behind him right now. Because we got to unite as a party. We got to unite as a people. All they're doing is pissing more people off. They're making Trump stronger. That's all they're doing. They're not helping any cause. They're not. All right, we're going to take that break right now. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio. We'll be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplains.dailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying Cap was doing it, bro.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is the Reaver After Dark, hosted by Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Jersey Crash, right here on shrmedia.com and highplains.dailynews.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reaverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date on everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. And I'm just having one of those issues today. You know that? Just one of those issues that just seems like everything's piling up right on top of it. All right. There we go. Trying to do something with the video a little bit different than normal. Just trying to change things up. I changed background today and just trying to change it up a little bit. But welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe. And I am trying to make sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeovers here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to join the live chat. Go to shrmedia.com. Click on the chat room button. Join the conversation. If you want to watch the show, go to Reaver.one. Click on the live stream. Don't forget to click on the subscribe button. If you want to support the show or you want to support SHR Media, go to Reaver.one and click on the Reaver store. So, I guess a little poll was done this weekend. And 58, that's a 58%, disapprove of Cruz and Kasich teaming up. A new poll shows a majority of the likely voters in Indiana's primary do not approve of Senator Ted Cruz and John Kasich's agreement to pull Kasich's campaign's resources out of the state. From NBC News, the poll was conducted between April 26 and April 28, so mostly after Trump's second consecutive primary victories in Northeast and Mid-Atlantic states, as well as after Cruz and Kasich announced an alliance truce whereby Kasich wouldn't campaign in Indiana to help Cruz in exchange for Cruz not campaigning in Oregon and New Mexico. But 58% of the likely Republican voters in Indiana say they disapprove of Kasich and Cruz teaming up to beat Trump in the Hoosier state, while 34% say they approve of the move. What's more, only 22% consider the Kasich-Cruz alliance a major factor in deciding their vote. 15% say it's a minor factor, and 63% say it would play no factor at all. Now, what's really funny is, a couple days after they announced this, and both campaigns announced it, Cruz goes and announces his VP pick, which is hysterical by itself. And now, Cruz and Carly Fioroni, Pastorini, whatever, have said that there was no deal in place. There was no deal made, which I find really hysterical because now that they don't think it's useful to them, they're denying its existence. They're denying that ever happened. This just goes to show how much of a liar this man is, Cruz, and how he will say anything, and I'm quoting Carly Fiorini, that Cruz will say anything to get elected. He has shown this time and time again that he will say anything. We could see it with the TPA. He was one of them that endorsed the bill and endorsed the fast tracking. But after finding out that basically the polls weren't in favor of it, after he got that through, immediately he switches place. If he had no intentions, like he said, why did he help pass and push that bill through? If it wasn't for his effort on the TPA, it wouldn't have gone through. So if he wasn't for the TPP, why did he go through all that trouble? The double talk and political talk that he's doing just shows that he will govern by polls. He will not stand by what he thinks. And it's funny because then he goes on and he lambastes if Trump says something off key that didn't come out right. And we're going to go over another piece because it's going to show the hypocrisy out of the Cruz camp where someone said something really bad, but yet it was just a mistake, and we're supposed to take it as that. It's okay that they have missteps in their talk, Even though campaigns announce stuff and then, no, we never did that. Damn, who we heard that from? We've had a politician that would say things and deny it. Oh, yeah, Obama and Reed. They always say things, then a couple weeks later retract it, saying they never said it, even though it's on video/tape. I'm telling you, he is the typical politician. He played the role of, I'm an outsider, I'm not what you think. And so many people bought it, including myself at the beginning. I don't hide it. I'm embarrassed about what happened. And my dad is the one that told me straight off, no, crude. No. My dad was highly against Cruz and said the man is fake. My dad said that from the beginning. He's been behind Trump. And I told my dad he was nuts. Trump was just in it for the publicity. And as time went on and things started happening, yeah. And I've admitted this on air before. I made a mistake. It happens. I made a mistake. God dang it. This board is new. Well, I've had it for about 6 months now. But every time I touch certain knobs, I get a little static. Maybe I'm just shockingly good. But I'm bump. So, the new little Heidi Cruz was out giving a speech on behalf of her husband. And I wonder if she actually did this on purpose because she's still pissed about the whole cheating thing. The woman disappeared from his campaign for a couple weeks after the announcement that he is supposedly have slept with 5 different women. And now there's others popping up that he's had a small affair with Carly, which make me laugh. I wondered that. I didn't accuse the guy of it, but when you have your vice president pick singing nighttime songs to your daughters, that was just plain creepy. When she sat there, this is what I sing to his kids every night for bed. Why are you singing to his kids every night for bed? I can see kind of like, hey, kids, Carly's here. You want to have her sing? Yay! But every night? Whoa. But I'm wondering if Heidi purposely said this just to throw up monkey wrench. Heidi Cruz has been on the Indiana campaign trail, and Saturday, she made a statement that her husband, Senator Ted Cruz, is an immigrant. Yeah, she said her husband, Ted, is an immigrant. He is a Hispanic. It just makes me laugh. And now they're even trying, I love this one because they've lambasted Trump for it, saying it's proof that he is a liberal. But now it's okay because they're saying we have libertarians joining our calls. I have people every day from the Democrat Party telling me that they re-registered to vote for Ted as a Republican because they understand what he stands for and he represents in America. That right there, I am calling full-on bullshit. There is not a goddamn Democrat to change party for that son of a bitch. There is no way. He is so far right. It's not funny. And if you're on the Democrat Party and you're aligning yourself with him, you've never were a Democrat. That one's just bullshit. Yeah, I know the libertarians. I've been admitting there's libertarians following Ted Cruz. You could tell because they're the ones that's all one way, not the other. There is no compromise. It's all one way, which they say they're for. They're for independence. The libertarians are for independence. They're for the Constitution. They're for smaller government. They're for their independence, but they're dependent on the Republican Party. Anybody find that a little funny? They're for independence, but they can't be independent. They got to suckle on the tit of the Republican Party. It just, I can see the libertarians backing Cruz. That, yep, go ahead. Democrats, there ain't a goddamn Democrat that's backed that man. He has lambasted Trump over Democrats and independents back him off. In fact, he's even said that he cannot win the conservative votes. The only way he's won any of these states is because the Democrat and the independents have backed him and voted for him. Well, if you actually look at the polls, he's won. Trump has won a majority of the closed state voting. He has won the open state voting. So he's won both of them. And let me tell you, he's pulling in. We've seen it. We hear about it. Ted Cruz has talked about it. Trump is pulling in the independent and the Democrat votes. He will be taking votes away from Hillary. Not only that, once Hillary gets the nomination and it screws over Bernie Sanders by the view of the Sanders supporters, they are not going to back Hillary. They are either going to stay home, or there's a lot of talk that they have announced that they will back Trump over Hillary. So these little libertarians, they need to get their act together. They're the ones that are hurting the party majorly. And not libertarians as a whole. This whole mentality of it's all or nothing is what's hurting the party. If you're don't agree 100% with them, you're against them. Well, I don't agree with Trump 100%. I don't agree with everything he says. I don't agree probably with anybody with 100% that they say. I do not blindly follow. I do not blindly agree. Nobody should agree 100% with anybody. On a very rare occasion, maybe one statement they may agree 100%, but their whole ideology, no, because you got to have a little difference. It's called independence. And they don't want that. They want Borg. And I'm pretty sure, hopefully most of my listeners understand that joke. Listen, I was looking at joining the Libertarian Party because I'm not happy with the Republican Party. But the more I looked, the more I went, holy shit, these guys are... Whew. I don't know. There's something about them that just... And not all of them. There's just a group of them that just... It's scary. But this statement by Heidi, I know I just totally made like a left-hand turn away from it. Her statement is... Ted is an immigrant. He is a Hispanic. Now they're trying to go into full damage mode. And they're saying Hildy just misspoke. She meant to say Ted is the son of an immigrant, as she said at countless stops before. See, they're allowed to make little oopsies on speeches. But if Trump does it, they hold his feet to the coal. Now, this is something that Cruz has been accused of. There's been a lot of questions lately. And if he were to become our nominee, listen, think of the shitstorm the Republican Party created over Obama's birth certificate and whether he's a citizen or not. I don't care which side of the fence you are. Just think of that shitstorm that got started over that. You don't think that the Democrats aren't going to pull the same shitstorm, and they are known for even going further than that. You are going to see lawsuit after lawsuit. They're going to try to stop him in court if he were to become, not because they're afraid, because they're just dickheads. They love being dickheads, and they're going to make more of a shitstorm than we made over Obama's citizenship, whether or not he is. And please don't give me email. He is not a goddamn... Listen, that's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about the shitstorm that we created. Right, wrong, indifferent. I have my opinion, and I'm keeping it to myself because it's useless to argue it now. Useless. We got what? 8 months? 8 months. 8 months to go before he's out of office. And even if we were able to prove that Obama is not a citizen, do you know how long it would take in court for us to remove him? The impeachment stories I hear all the time, it's like, number one, I know they're bullshit, they're clickbait websites, but why? Why do people fall for it? There's 8 months left. It would take that amount of time alone to remove him from office. It would waste so much money, and it wouldn't produce anything. It just, oh my God. All right, well, we're up against the break again. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio. We will be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplains.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying half of the student pro.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is the Reaver After Dark, hosted by Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Jersey Crash, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reaverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date on everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe. Trying to make sense out of the senseless, and sometimes it is too funny. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday. 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to join the live chat. Go to shrmedia.com. Click on the chat room button. Join the conversation. Arguing with my microphone stand right now. If you want to watch broadcast, go to Reaver.one. Watch me argue with my microphone stand. Click on the live stream. Don't forget to click subscribe. If you want to support the show or support SHR Media, dang, something that just does not sound right today. Maybe it's my ears. But if you want to support the show or support SHR Media, please go to Reaver.one. Click on the Reaver store. Go ahead, pick yourself up a t-shirt, mug, and many other items. Oh, so. Yeah, I don't know if that was a Freudian slip out of Mrs. Cruz, or is she just, still pissed off and let it loose just to give him some trouble, or if he actually isn't a citizen and she knows the truth. We will never know, and I'm not getting into the argument because some arguments are not worth arguing because and I'm not talking like legal arguments. I'm talking between myself and other people. Everybody has their opinions on it, and the people are set on the way that they're going to think on this instance. And to argue back and forth on it, it really is not worth it. It isn't. It's a losing battle, and it's going to waste my time for what? Yes, I think he is a citizen. I think Obama is a citizen. Both of them had one parent that was a citizen of the United States. They were born to American citizens. I understand they weren't born in the United States, but they were born to American citizens. That's my opinion. Until I see something solid to prove it different, I would change my opinion then. But just tell me, no, I'm not going to get into that, please. I'm not going to go back and forth with that. But Chuck Todd is saying to Ted Cruz, Republican voters are the ones rejecting you, not the media. Now, I'm going to be giving a lot of quotes back and forth, and it can get a little boring, and I'll try to do it the best I can. But Sunday on NBC's Meet the Press host, Chuck Todd got very frustrated with Republican presidential candidate Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz, and this is a very common theme with him, when asked the question, if he does not like the question, he goes on his own tangent instead of answering the question. He has done this throughout the whole campaign. Megyn Kelly has even called him out on this shit. And it's getting tiresome. And he's looking like an angry little man at this point. So Chuck Todd, are you going to support him? I understand what you believe in the Republican Party. Can you support him? Can you tell your delegates, lay down your arms and support Trump? Cruz's response is, I recognize that many in the media would love for me to surrender to Donald Trump. With a response by Chuck Todd, it is not about media, Senator. It is about the numbers. He may win. Republican voters are the one rejecting you. This is not a media conspiracy, Senator. And Cruz, of course, comes back. Well, actually, with all due respect, the media has he comes up with every excuse to try to put the finger on something else. Not that people don't want him. Not that the people have voted against him. He has this delusion that it's everybody else's fault and not the message that he brought. The only thing I've seen that man do is attack Trump. I mean, there was first couple months, he stood by Trump, and then, we're not going to get into it. We're not going to go back and forth. Yep, we're just going to go forward. And I thought, holy shit, Cruz is doing a nice, respectful thing. He's not getting involved with the other. And as the candidate started dwindling down and he was still there, all he did is it ramped up his attacks on him. And now he's going to cry about the media. Well, Cruz has had those same chances. He's been on Sean Hannity more than any other candidate. He's been on other ones more than any other candidate. But now he's going to cry because Trump, due to public opinion and stuff hitting the news, and they're covering him. So it's Trump's fault. It's the media's fault. No, people don't want you. People are not voting for you, Cruz. They don't want you. It's not the media. But he goes on, well, actually, with all due respect, the media has given $2 billion of free advertising to Donald. Let me ask you a question. For example, how much money did the networks make on every one of the Republican debates? Millions, right? Lots and lots. Chuck Todd turns around and he has no idea because they didn't have a Republican debate. So they are not part of that. Now, of course, now Cruz is going to change it again. He's going to go whining about the debates again. And yes, whining. Why? Because there was how many? 12 debates we had this year? We got sick and tired of the debates that people did. We got tired of it. There was 12 debates that he had. And all he wanted to do was sling mud. So now that he is losing, he wants more debates. He wants more debates so that he can try to sling more mud and bring Trump down by insulting him, by giving false statements. Because it doesn't matter if it's a straight out lie and Trump denies it and is able to prove it's a lie. People are going to hear it and it's going to stick in their mind. He is a lawyer. He knows as long as he puts in a ounce of doubt, that's all he needs to do. That's why he wants these debates. Because he just wants to put a little doubt in everybody's mind. He knows his statements are lies, but it puts a little bit of doubt. But he goes on that 49 days since a Republican debate. The Democrats have had a debate. They've been willing to debate. Donald can't answer questions about his foreign policy. Well, you know what? Maybe you need to answer about foreign policy. Because I've seen Donald Trump give very detailed on his policies. I've only seen Cruz give vague copies of what Donald says and then lambaste Donald for his policies. Cruz is doing nothing but a negative attack. And then he goes, I'm just running a positive campaign. Bullshit. And he will not answer. And Chuck Todd even turns around and says, but you can't answer the question of whether you can support Donald or not. You can't answer that question. Why won't you answer the question black, straightforward, black and white? And he did this with Kelly just last week, where he goes off on his own little tangents, and then he gets pissed when he gets interrupted because he won't answer the question that the host, the one that it's their show. And I said, I would love to have him on here. First time he told me don't interrupt, I would hit that fucking mute button so fast in my life and tell him, no, I will interrupt when you don't answer my questions. If you want to have an adult conversation and you want to answer the questions on the format of a show, talk show, then fine. I will give you time to go on one of your little tangents. But when you're asked a question, and this is what we've seen from President Barack Obama, he is asked the question, and he goes off on different tangents and never answers the question. And this is why I compare Cruz to Obama. He is pulling the playbook. He has said he's using the election manual that Obama used, and he's following it to a T. So why should I not think that he will not govern the same way Obama? Nothing will get done under Cruz if he was president. Nothing. Because we'd be too busy fighting with everybody as we are now. Nothing will get done except one thing. It would destroy the Republican Party. Why? Because the Democrats have a better PR department. They've already laid down the foundation that Republicans are the obstructionists. And they've laid down that foundation. That foundation is there, and as soon as they're able to prove more and more, they would. And what I mean by that, a couple of years ago, Harry Reid was saying that's why they're not getting anything done in the Senate is because the Republicans are blocking everything. The Republicans are blocking things in the House, they're blocking it in the Senate. We were able to disprove that. But if we then have a president like Cruz where nothing gets done, they're going to be screaming, see, we told you. They have control. They do not want to get anything done. They are the party of obstruction. and the people would believe him at that point. The foundation is laid. It could go on further, and it would hurt us for years to come. We have a two-split Congress right now. Having a cruise would not help. And I know people think that Trump is very divisive. It's his way and his way only. Do you think he built a billion-dollar business? Just my way. No, it's called compromise. He understands. A businessman understands compromise more than a politician, more than a lawyer. And that's what I'm getting tired of. I voted Romney. One of the reasons I wanted to see Romney, because he was a businessman. He understands business. Trump understands business. He can get our economy going. He understands it better than a lawyer. I know lawyers personally. Very smart when it comes to the law. Great memory for recall. Common sense, not so much. There's one lawyer that I know, love him to death. He can't understand the difference between an EMT, basic life support, and a paramedic, advanced life support. I've explained it. He cannot understand it because of the way that their minds work. And I'm not bashing him for it. When it comes to the law, I can't look at the law and go, what the fuck is all this shit? He can understand it that quick. Doesn't mean that he's worse than me, better than me. No, people think different ways. But if we were to have Cruz, nothing would get done because, like this interview and so many before it, he will not answer. He was asked just to answer it straightforward, black and white, yes or no. And his response is, Chuck, let me finish this point I'm making. What about the question that you were asked and you were supposed to be answering, and why aren't you answering that? That is the one that, and I'm getting tired because it's not just one or two interviews. It's every interview. He has yelled at two interviewers that I've seen and told them not to interrupt him. Who the fuck does that man think he is? He is on somebody's show and he's telling them not to interrupt him. Someone thinks he's a little too important. That is the stuff I'm getting tired of. It's just, I don't know, and it gets my blood pressure going. Yeah. And he comes up with more excuses. And there's an old expression that my dad used to say all the time. You got more excuses than Carter's got liver pills. And that's Cruz. Everything's an excuse. But he goes on and he's talking, even though the media stands to make millions of dollars off a debate, you hear radio silence from the media about no debates because we've had enough of them. They are giving up millions of dollars, and the reason is your network executives are partisan to Democrats. Why doesn't every TV station have debate countdown clocks? This is the big, he wants to blame everybody else, and I'm tired of that. I'm tired of fingers being pointed at everybody and anybody else. You make a fucking mistake, own up to it. Avoiding these questions, just answer it. If you can't answer a basic question like that, how are you going to govern the country? I'm tired of excuses. I'm tired of blame being put around. I want things done. I don't want shit being pushed off. I'm tired of it. And the difference is Cruz is proving that's what he would do. More and more, he is proving that's what he would do. And real quick, lastly, even Todd, after they go back and forth even more, can you answer the question about whether you're going to support? Are you going to support Trump if he's the nominee? I'm going to beat Donald Trump is his response. He can only beat him backdoor. He can't win it outright anymore. Even after he said, if you can't win it, and I've heard all the excuses nowadays. It's so funny. Cruz was out there, a month ago, to Kasich about him being mathematically eliminated. You have no path. You need to leave. If you have no path to a win, you need to leave the race. He has lost his path to win from the 1237. First round. Oh, he has through the contested convention. He can still win other ways. Then why was he telling Kasich to get out? Because Kasich can still win it through the contested convention. Marco Rubio could have won it in the contested convention. The excuses are so weak, it's disgusting. And he's not asked to concede. He was asked, would he support? And he just ignores the question. And that's what I'm sick of, and I'm tired of piece of shit politicians like that. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio. We will be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplansdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying coffee was stupid, bro.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is the Reaver After Dark, hosted by Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Jersey Crash, right here on shrmedia.com and highplansdailynews.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the Reaver of Common Sense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date on everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, trying to make sense out of the senseless. I am having such problems with my damn mic stand today. I hate these cheap pieces. And they're not cheap exactly, but the connecting piece, the first bracket, it's like those, the one I'm using, since you may not be watching, which you should be. You clamp them to the desk. It's just that almost like a lamplight type arm, but it has the piece where you put your microphone on. And that first connection is cheap as hell. I'm trying to figure out how I can make it a little bit sturdier. That takes a lot of brain power, and I don't have much left. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to join the live chat. Go to shrmedia.com. Just click on the chat room button. Join the conversation. If you want to watch the broadcast, go to Reaver.one. Click on the live stream. If you like the live stream, don't forget to subscribe. If you want to support the show, you can now. If you want to support SHR, you can. We've made it easy. Go to Reaver.one. Click on the Reaver store. Pick yourself up some items. All right. Pick up I Hate Whales bumper sticker. Or the Pangean, all Pangean lives matter. I had a band once named Pangea. It broke up. Go ahead, pick them up. Put them on your car. Show your looking that you support SHR Media and the alternative to mainstream media. So, yeah, Ted Cruz loves to just ignore most of the main GOP establishment. Most of them have come there. They know they have. Yeah, I dated a Pangean once and we broke up. I got to still make that one. Most of the establishment, and you'll see it, they always have a candidate that they favor, and usually they win. But when they don't, there's a time for fight and a time to say, all right, it's done, it's over with. Now we need to come together as a party, and we need to. And we have so many. You have a neocon figure and commentary editor, John, they call him J-Pod, admitted Sunday that Donald Trump will be the Republican nominee for president. It's not over yet, John insisted. Roger Kimball in the comment section to J-Pod's post. And he put, oh, yes, it is. And it is. And the person said, I'd rather die. These people that, and it's getting ridiculous. They're the ones that are going to hurt. They already screwed up the last presidential election because he wasn't the right religion. So we wound up with Obama for another 4 years. And then, again, there was one gentleman. He said, well, it's going to be you guys' fault if we wind up with Hillary. I'm staying home. I'm not voting. No. If anything, it's going to be your fault. Don't like him. He's going to be the nominee. And just like if Cruz was the nominee, we'd be voting for Cruz and coming together as a party around Cruz. I'm getting tired of this childish childish atmosphere of it's my way or my way only, and I'm going to take my ball and go home. And the guy's response was, I haven't played ball with a Trump. No shit, Sherlock. I don't think you played ball with Trump. It's called expression. You're taking your ball and taking it home. It means you're being childish. You're taking your toys and you're going home because you're not getting your way. You're not winning the game, so you're taking your ball and you're going home. That's what that means. It is a expression. It's getting tiresome with these people. It really is. And they're so diehard. And the only thing we're looking, thank God that the Democrats are going through the same thing. Because if they weren't, yeah, that's kind of my point, Cal. She brought up, why are Cruz and Sanders still in it? It's kind of futile at this point. It's just to be a dickhead. That's why they're still in it. They can't admit that they lost. They can't admit that the people did not want them. They're going to try backdooring in. And they don't realize how much of a problem that would cause within the party, how much damage that would cause. And it would damage the party significantly. Because the majority of the people want Trump. I can't say that about the Democrat Party because, well, they're actually, without the superdelegates, they're pretty tight on. But the majority of people want Trump. And if somehow it went backdoor and Cruz got it where the minority wants, and yes, I said majority, I know that, and I always clarify this because I always get somebody saying it to me, and they forget that majority, and this shows how much they parrot the media and parrot certain people. Majority has several meanings, and one of them is the greater number. It's a noun, greater number. That is also majority. When you're talking 50 plus 1 majority, that is spelled out in the GOP rules and regulations. So the majority want Trump and the minority wants Cruz. And if we got Cruz, that would piss off a lot of people. It would show that it would prove to so many people that they do not listen to the American people. They don't want to do with the American people, that they do whatever they want. That would prove that, and it would put so many people to stay at home probably. It would put so many people to revolt. And I'm not trying to push the, we're going to, riot if Trump doesn't get the election. It wouldn't be so much over Trump as it would be you did not listen to the majority of the people, and they're friggin' tired of not being heard. Because Cruz went on his little crybaby tantrum about that. You go ahead and get him to riot. No, he was asked a fucking question. Unlike you, Cruz, he answers them. He was asked the question, does he think they would riot? And he said, yes, he think they would be. He didn't say they're going to. He didn't say he was pushing them to. He answered a question. You inbred motherfucker. Because that's what he is. He's dating or he's married to his cousin. He can answer a question, and you're going to sit there like a typical politician and twist it. Then you wonder why you're not up there in the polls. You're not winning contests because you are a typical politician. Just because you say you're an outsider does not make you an outsider. You are backed. You have the endorsement. You have in your goddamn campaign the establishment. I could say I'm a goddamn millionaire. Doesn't make me a millionaire. Well, then again, according to the Democrats, I get to pick on what I want to be. And at this point, I think I want to be 67 years old and of retirement age. So the government needs to start sending my retirement to me. I'm just... We're looking like idiots. Thank God the Democrats are looking like idiots too with their fight. If it would have been any other candidate, the rest of the candidates would have dropped out by now. Romney, memory serves me correct, he actually didn't get to the 1237 and it was given to him. There's been candidates in the past that didn't make 1237 and it was given to them because they were close enough. The only reason why we're hearing it because a minority has a bug up their ass about Trump. They didn't have, I'm getting tired of this donation crap because we just had one of the Koch brothers talking about how he's going to be backing Hillary. He has in the past financed Democrats. Most businessmen finance both parties. It's beneficial to their business. I get tired of hearing that over and over and over again. If that's your biggest bitch, holy shit, you really don't have a leg to stand on. He didn't donate as much as Cruz cries about. Cruz has exaggerated everything so goddamn bad, and I'm tired of it. You're sounding like idiots. He gave to the Democrat Party. He gave to everybody, but a majority of his money went to Republicans. He is a huge businessman. He has to do a little ass kissing and making sure people are happy for his business to go on. That's not even buying politicians off. That's just donating, trying to make friends. And this shit of, oh, he's friends with Hillary Clinton, he's going to give the election. Who gives a shit that they're friends? Jesus, this shit of gotta be enemies and not talk, that is the problem we have in this country. The two sides do not talk enough. The two sides do not work their problems out. I want a politician that's going to work with both sides like Reagan did. And I'm getting tired of that. Well, Lincoln got it on the third goddamn contested convention vote. Yeah, and how many states did he campaign in during the primaries? How many states did he win? Because he couldn't campaign. It was common back then. That's when the contested convention was useful. That's when the broker convention was useful. You couldn't get the candidates around to every goddamn state during the primary season. Our candidates can get all through the United States with no problem. The travel is easy nowadays compared to then. So this contested convention and brokered convention is not. It's an archaic rule. It's a rule set to help us hundreds, like 100, 150, 200 years ago. That's when it was useful. Even like 60, 70 years ago, it was useful. Because we still couldn't travel as much as we do now. And I'm just throwing decades out there. I'm not thinking about Zach years, so please don't bitch at me about that. Even the 70s, yeah, I mean, trying to do all over the country in one day was not as easy as it is now. You know, our politicians didn't exactly have their own private jets back then. They were flying commercial compared to now where Ted Cruz has a dedicated jet. Trump has his own jet. They have their own stuff to fly all over. That makes it so much easier. It's expensive, but it is, and it makes it easy for them to get across. So they're hitting all these areas, and the people are voting. We don't need to contest. I mean, it's there for this year. Yes, I'm not arguing that fact. I am talking to squelch any problems in the future. When we want to make changes, we need to make it from the election before. So for the next presidential election, the rules should be changed now. And we should take out the contested and the brokered convention. It is an archaic rule that's not needed. But what is needed is my breaks. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Bay Radio. We will be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplains.dailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying half of the stupid, bro.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is the Reaver After Dark, hosted by Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Jersey Crash, right here on shrmedia.com and highplains.dailynews.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guy. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reaverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date on everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, making sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to join the live chat. Go to shrmedia.com. Just click on the chat room button. Join the conversation. And if you want to watch a live stream, go to Reaver.one. Click on the live stream. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And lastly, but mostly, if you want to support the show and support SHR Media, go to Reaver.one. Click on the Reaver store. So I want to touch on something real quick that I've found this weekend. And it made me snicker. I mean, it's not that big of a deal, but it made me snicker. So Cruz went and announced his vice president nomination, who he wants to run next to him if he were to get it through the contested convention. Now, the problem with this is he doesn't get to pick in a contested convention. He has no say in a contested convention. The delegates at that point pick out who the vice president will be. I guess he didn't know that rule. And, he touts how he knows all the rules inside and out and upside down. Well, guess he didn't. And his little comment of Trump making a little, he's making a mockery. He's making issues out of this backdoor deals for delegates and all this other shit. Yeah, it's legal. Just because it's legal doesn't mean you have to do it. Just because it's legal does not make it morally right. Just because you do it does not make it acceptable. Excuse me. Just because it's legal doesn't make it acceptable. And these are some of the stuff that the people have been bitching about for years. So you're surprised when Donald Trump makes an issue out of it because it's an issue that the American people have been making. And you think it's a joke. I'm pretty sure Trump knows how that game is played. But that game is making you look like an idiot. That game is making you look bad. And then you go and name a nominee, which reeks of desperation. You make an alliance, which smells of desperation. And now it gets announced, you don't get to pick who the nominee or the vice president is. Just something to let you... Yeah, Kel's saying, wasn't the boy picking the girl tried in the past and it failed? Yes, it has. My dad pointed out every time someone has picked out a female, and I'm not blaming it on the female, so feminists, fuck off. But my dad pointed out every time someone has picked a female vice president, they have lost. The people just say that they don't want it. But yes, in any which way, whether it was about this or not, feminists, please piss off. I really don't have time for your bullshit. I find it a joke. Should we have equal rights? Yes. But now these feminists who want to be treated equally are bitching that they're going to have to sign up for the draft. They wanted equality and they wanted to be able to fight in the front lines, but now that they're going to have to join the draft just like the men do, now they're pissed off. Now they're all upset. That's not right. No, you can't make us. Well, you know what? If you want to be treated equal, you need to be treated equal across the board. And this crap of having lesser standards for women, that's a bunch of bullshit. If you want to be treated equal, you need to have equal rights across the board. I'm tired of the different standards being set up. So that's for a different show. So this dumbass, Larry Wilmore, I believe he's the one that has taken over for Jon Stewart and run that show into the ground. He was at the White House correspondent dinner, and he closed his speech on Saturday by telling President Obama, "Yo, Barry, you did it, my nigga." And yes, I know I probably offended God knows how many people I'm quoting. I am not calling him that. That is what Larry Wilmore said during the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Earlier in the speech, Wilmer said that former President Andrew Jackson reacted to Ben Carson's defense of Jackson being kept on the $20 bill by asking, "What did my J Jigaboo say?" So they can insult Dr. Ben Carson because he's standing up for what he believes in, but then they could sit there and call him a Jigaboo, and it's okay. But if it was the other way around, they would be screaming racism from Dr. Carson up and down, left and right. This shit is, I'm tired of also. They can say whatever they want, but we got to watch what we say. Being at a presidential dinner, the White House Correspondents' Dinner, and him saying that, "Yo, Barry, you did it, that's absolutely disgusting." And then he thumps his chest, to which Obama replied with a chest thump of his own. And the Democrats talk about Donald Trump not being presidential. That right there wasn't fucking presidential. That, you want to do at your house, you want to do it at the bar, you want to do it when you're bullshitting with your friends. There's shit I do with my friends that I would not do at a dinner of that capacity. I wouldn't have done that at the Chiefs dinner, the installation dinners at the firehouses. This is just absolutely ridiculous. And that's accepted. And I find it funny that Larry Wilmore has been running the Daily Show down the drain. He's not funny. At least Jon Stewart can say something funny every now and then. This guy's just plain out mean and nasty. I cannot believe that that was done. And what's even funnier is there was a fist fight at the party too. The after party at some peace place. It was named after a peace accord or some shit like that. There was a fight between someone from Huffington Post, I think, and Bill O'Reilly's guy, Waters on the street. Something Waters, I can't remember his first name. They actually got in a fist fight. It was kind of funny. This was absolutely disgusting to do. You know, if they did that in the backstage, you know, they're in the privacy of a party. But to do that out in the open during an official, how many official people were there? Is there any dignitaries there? That is inappropriate. Like I said, you want to, and then to sit there and mock Ben Carson and calling him a jigaboo, that right there is disgusting. And I don't know why we aren't up in arms and going after this asshole for that. Disgusting. And you know what? This is why I don't watch Comedy Central anymore. It was bad enough when Jon Stewart was on, calls me to get sick of I got tired of his bullshit, so I stopped watching Comedy Central. Yeah, I'm definitely not coming back to Comedy Central anytime soon. In fact, probably never. That was disgusting. You have a personnel working for you that does that. That is disgusting. All right, Kel just sent me an article. Let's see. All right. Yeah, President Obama took a cheap shot. Hopefully I don't hear all this. They got a commercial going and I can't seem to mute it. But Obama did a mic drop and slammed Trump, and there hasn't been a president that really gets involved in the presidential election on his way out. It just shows how low and disgusting this man will go. He stated he's a little hurt. He's not here tonight. We had so much fun the last time. It is surprising. We have a room full of reporters, celebrities, and camera, and he says no. Is this dinner too tacky for Donald? Well, when you make comments like, "You did it, my nigger," and what did that jigaboo say? Yeah, I could see where not showing up would be a good reason because it was too disgusting and lowbrow. What could he be possibly doing instead? Yeah, he's trying to figure out how to run this country and straighten this country out where you fucked it up for the last 7 years. You have run this country so low. We used to be the leading country of the world. Now we're a second-class world and falling to third. Nobody takes us serious. The world is going to hell because, well, nobody is leading like we have. When we are leading, the world is more at peace. But every time we step out of that role, right, wrong, and indifferent, that is our job. Sometimes you get jobs that you just don't like, that you got to do. This is one of them. We've been the leader. But I do agree on Trump's stance that we have to stop financing everything. We shouldn't be the one that's doing the majority financing for NATO. We shouldn't be doing the majority of the financing for the UN. We shouldn't. And you know what? I don't even want to be in the UN. The UN has turned into everything that we are against. But NATO, we should not be funding something like 60% of it. Everybody else should be paying along. I agree on that point. But, well, Kel, I keep saying the same thing. I want you to come on my show, too, one day, and I'll come on yours. I have no problem with that. All you have to do is tell me when to call in, and I'll call in. I have no problem. We need to lead. That has been our job. So many times we've stopped leading and the world goes to hell and we go into world wars. And that's what we're seeing now. It's not like instantaneously, but the world has gone into hell right now. We are circling the drain, and this planet is circling the drain. Because we shouldn't be leading on. Nobody likes us now. You have destroyed this world. And then he sits there and brags that he is the reason. He is the reason that the economy of the world got saved. He saved it. Yeah, it's not doing that great. You didn't save shit. I'd hate to have you as my EMT partner. Look at that. The guy's in a body bag. We saved him. Yeah, we did. He's not drowning anymore. I pulled him out real damn good, didn't I? I could see him being one of those EMTs. The guy's dead, but you know what? Look at that. I jumped right in the water, and I got him out of the water. I rescued him. Oh. You know, if a white person would have said what was said at that dinner, joke, oh my God, the headlines, tar and feathering the guy, putting him in the stockade for months, having everybody stone him while he's in the stockade, even if he said it as a joke. But it's okay that those two people have said it. That is absolutely disgusting and appalling. Thank God my daughter's not old enough. She understands or sees this crap go on. I am honestly embarrassed by those two's actions at this point. The DC Republican Party is flushing the Never Trump delegate out of the convention. That Never Trump movement that was going along is failing, and they're flushing failure out of the system. And it's not just in DC, it's happening in all other places. You got a lot of places that are trying to push these Never Trump hate mongers out of the way. And that's what they are, is a bunch of hate mongers. They're a bunch of children that are not getting their way, and they're upset. And we'll talk more about this specific incident in DC right after this break. But you're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplansdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying coffee is stupid, bro.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is the Reaver After Dark, hosted by Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Jersey Crash, right here on shrmedia.com and highplansdailynews.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the Reaver of Common Sense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date on everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe. I'm trying to make the sense out of the senseless, but this is a long, treacherous road. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to join the live chat. Go to shrmedia.com. Just click on the chat room button. Join the conversation. If you want to watch a broadcast, go to Reaver.one. Click on the live stream. If you like the live stream, click on the subscribe. And if you want to support the show and support SHR Media, go to Reaver.one. Click on the Reaver store. I know I had talked about flushing the Never Trump out, but I didn't realize how late it had gotten, and I definitely want to get 2 other stories in. But the basic thing is they found out one of the delegates was not a resident of D.C., and it was a fight, but they had a vote, and that person has been removed, so they're going to have to get somebody else in. And they're now looking at several other delegates across the United States that are not who they say they are and not from where they say they are. So it looks like there might be a little shenanigans, going on amongst this Never Trump group trying to get into the delegates so that they can sway a second and third voting. I don't like the fact that these people have declared out in the open their intentions. I mean, I'm glad they got the balls to, but they're supposed to be neutral, I thought. All right, so one of the things that happened this weekend there was the so-called protesters, which are not protesters, they're paid rioters, they're paid terrorists to go in to cause problems, to make Trump's venues look bad. The only thing they're doing is reinforcing the support for Trump and actually bringing more support towards us, especially when you go to California and you have the riots going on, and it's Make America Mexico again. This is what a lot of us have been warning everybody about since the advent of the Occupy Wall Street movement and continuing through the rise of the Black Lives Matter. Everybody has been on the right has been warning and educating our audiences of the real nature of the radical protest movements that act both as vanguards of the revolution for the far left and the shock troops for the establishment Democrats. The protesters that saw America in California, the protest that America saw in California on Thursday and Friday should be a wake-up call, a big wake-up call, about the real nature and goals of these movements. The facts were all these people coming together not merely to protest Donald Trump, but to strike out at America itself. Everyone could see the American flags burning, the Mexican flags flying, the violence and vulgarity aimed at capitalism, freedom, and white America. In my appearance Thursday morning, this is from the Reporter, the Sirius XM Patriot Channel 125, I connected the dots on a modern-day axis of evil we see destroying the modern world. This is going on all the time. They've been pushing for a new Africa out of the America's South, should be given to the blacks because of everything that happened 400 years ago. And now they want Mexico to Texas to be handed over to them so they can ATS land, which is stolen land, which wasn't stolen. That's the. They stole the land from Mexico. No, there was a war. There was money to be repaid. Now, once a certain amount came back, we had control of all of Mexico. We could have been douches and said, screw you, we're keeping it. No, but an agreement was struck up over restitution for their actions, and we were to keep certain part of the land, and the rest was handed back to them. It was not stolen. It was deals that were done because you don't like those deals now. Now, you loopholes. Oh, they stole it. Fuck you, they didn't steal shit. Now I'm getting tired of these idiots that come to this country. They don't want to be in Mexico because the life is not that great there. Then they fly their Mexican flags. Fine, you want to be proud of your heritage? That's fine. But you are American first. And if you don't want to be American first, there's the fucking door. Leave. This shit pisses me off. If you hate this country so much, why the fuck are you here? Tell me. And don't tell me, well, we're trying to strengthen the country. No, you're not. You are destroying the country. You are pushing these groups and actions that are detriment to everybody's safety. I did not see one single American flag flying, especially in California with the shit that's going on. I saw Mexican flags flying. It just goes to prove that the left, the Democrats, are not for this country. They're not for the U.S. government. They're out for their own private little enterprises. They could give a shit what happens to this country. As long as they get their pockets filled, that's all they care. I don't see no American flags flying. And a lot of these other protests, I see American flags being burned at them, stomped on. This shows you the mentality that these people have and the direction that they are taking this country. And this is what the left is pushing for. And what's even funnier is we had the Obama administration. I will be the most transparent government on this planet ever in history of Mars. Yeah, even CNN has gone, yeah, they were the least transparent ever. CNN is admitting that the Obama administration was the least transparent ever. Now, for the last 7 years, they've had their heads up Obama's ass, kissing it, lambasting everybody that said it wasn't. Now that his administration is getting done and over with, and they have doesn't look like they have a huge allegiance to Bernie Sanders or Hillary, they're going, yeah, there was no transparency whatsoever there. Where were they the last 7 years when everybody's fighting it? Where were they? Absolutely disgusting. I'm still pissed off about this flying the flag in Mexico like they are. And let me ask you a question. They're doing this protest against Trump. What the fuck is doing burnouts and doing 360s has to do with politics? You guys look like a bunch of yahoos out there. Look, they're doing burnouts. They're going around in a circle doing a burnout. Oh, that's so anti-government. Why did I do that with a southern hick voice? Sorry about that. It's just, why? What did that accomplish except endangering people's lives? Because the idiots are running out going, look what they're doing. Oh, my God. That's why people shouldn't wear helmets anymore. We need to weed out the weak. Can't say that because they're my daughter. Oh, love my daughter, but she's the type of person, and she does something once, she's got to try it again. When she was younger, she told her not to stick her finger in the light socket. What did she do? Stick her finger in the light socket. Said, you won't do that again. So what did she do? She walked over and she did it again. She hasn't done it since then, but she's got to do things twice to make sure that it wasn't just a fluke. Now, another good thing that's going on, this Never Trump's failure, and everybody's kind of starting to unite back together. But you have General Mattis. Sorry if I messed his name up. And has told Bill Kristol no on the attempt to get him to run third party. Bill Kristol has been slammed by the RNC already, told him to knock his shit off, but yet he's still running his mouth. And he tried to get retired Marine Corps General James Mattis to run as a third party campaign if Donald Trump is the Republican nominee. The Weekly Standard editor, Bill Kristol, was trying to get Mattis to run as part of his scheme to run an independent in the general election against Trump and Hillary. Such a plot would presumably siphon votes away from Trump and help Clinton. And that's exactly what it would do. It would only help Clinton. And these establishments, such as Bill Kristol, do not give a flying rat's ass that they are helping Hillary. You have one of the Koch brothers, I forget which one it is, but they've come out and they don't care. They see Hillary as being okay. As long as their pockets getting filled, who gives a rat's ass about the American people? Now, Kristol has considered Tom Coburn and Rick Perry for a third-party run. Also has speculated that Mitt Romney and Marco could be part of such a ticket. Now, if anybody remembers last week, Rick Perry did come out. He did come out and say that he is going to vote for Trump if he's the nominee. He is supporting Trump. Now, this is my personal view with everything that's going on. And when they called all those ranchers out west with, Oregon. called them terrorists. Well, these pro-Mexican, anti-American activists are now vowing more protests against Trump. These protests haven't been peaceful. They've been very violent. So they're vowing more violence. They're vowing for more riots. Well, they ought to be charged with terroristic threats then, because their actions outweigh their words. Their actions have been destructive. Their actions have been violent. This is this, and I bet you go in there, a lot of them are undocumented, illegal aliens. And I've said it before, these governments, these local governments, San Francisco, every single one of their politicians should be charged with a criminal enterprise. Because that is what I'd be charged with a criminal enterprise if I was registered as a business and I was aiding and abetting criminals. I'd be charged with a criminal enterprise. Why aren't they? Because they're elected officials? They are helping illegals. They're helping people break the law. You want to protest? Protest. Don't be getting in the middle of the street. Don't be blocking people that have nothing to do with it, that are trying to maybe go to fuck to work, that you just cost them the job because you blocked the street and their boss doesn't give a shit and they were late. You don't give a shit. So why should we care about your thought? With that, it's Monday. It's the end of the show. I will be back tomorrow, right at my time slot. I'll be starting at 11:05. Till then, have a great day. You've been listening to the Reaver of Common Sense with its host, Jersey Joe. You can tune in every day, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on hppundit.com and shrmedia.com.